Welcome to today's explainer lesson, 8th graders. I am absolutely thrilled to be with you today. So, in this lesson, we're going to dive into how the actual format of what we read changes our entire learning experience. I mean, have you ever noticed that lugging around and reading a heavy textbook feels completely different from scrolling through an article on your tablet, even if you're reading about the exact same historical event? Well, today we are going to unpack exactly why that happens.
Okay, let's kick things off by grounding our minds in Proverbs chapter 10, verse 14. It gives us a great reminder: the wise lay up knowledge. You know, as 8th graders, your ultimate goal as students really isn't just passing tests or memorizing a bunch of random facts. Your real goal is the wise pursuit of knowledge. And a huge part of being wise is understanding how you actually take in information so you can be the absolute best steward of your own mind.
Here is our roadmap for today. 1. 2 ways to read. 2. Keys of genre comparison. 3. Real-world reading examples. 4. The godly learner's mind. And finally, 5. Your homework challenge.
Section 1. 2 ways to read. The big idea.
So, here's the crazy thing. The simple but profound truth is that the exact same topic feels entirely different depending on whether you've got a physical paper in your hands or a glowing screen in front of you. The medium actually changes the message. Let's say you're studying the American Revolution. If you use a print format, like your history textbook, it gives you a really chronological, detailed journey. It demands deep, focused reading. You sit, you read, you absorb. But if you look up that exact same topic on a digital museum website, it's a totally different ballgame. You get high interactivity and speed. You've got short captions, clickable images, embedded videos. It's super exciting, right? But it also brings a ton of distractions. Recognizing these differences is what helps you pick the absolute best tool for the job. Do you need a quick overview with cool visuals, or do you need a deep dive with zero distractions?
Moving right along to Section 2, Keys of Genre Comparison, breaking down the mechanics.
All right, so when you actually sit down to compare print and digital versions, you have to evaluate 3 specific pillars. We're looking at structure, accessibility, and engagement. If you can master these 3 concepts, you are going to be a vastly stronger, much more analytical reader. Let's break them down one by one. First up, structure. Print offers a really clear set path. It's organized using chapters, pages, and paragraphs. The author decides the journey, and you just follow it straight from page 1 to page 2. Digital texts, though, they require you to navigate. They're structured using drop-down menus, tabs, and hyperlinks. In a digital environment, you're the one choosing the path by deciding exactly which links to click. It's basically a choose-your-own-adventure style of reading. Next is accessibility. Now, a printed text is fixed. The ink is dry on the page. If the text is tiny, well, it stays tiny. But digital text, it adapts beautifully to what you need. You've got handy search tools, like just hitting Control F to instantly find a word. You can switch on an audio version to listen while you follow along, or easily bump up that font size when your eyes are getting tired. Digital definitely wins big points for making texts highly adaptable. And that brings us to our third pillar, engagement. Digital media comes at you with motion, sound, pop-ups, and interactivity. It is highly stimulating and designed to grab your attention. But listen up, because this is crucial. All that high stimulation sometimes comes at the cost of the deep understanding that print provides. Print might seem a little quieter or slower, but that quietness provides the focused depth you actually need to truly master a complex subject.
Section 3. Real-world reading examples. Seeing it in action.
Let's put this into practice. Take a science article. In print, it relies on static charts. You have to stop and study the ink on the paper to figure it out. But digitally, you might hover your mouse over an interactive graph and watch extra data instantly pop up. Pretty cool. Or think about reading a novel for English class. A printed novel flows continuously, pulling you deep into the emotion of the story. An ebook, on the other hand, might offer hyperlinks to character bios or maps of the fantasy world, which is a really fun feature, but you've got to be careful. Clicking that map might pull you right out of the emotion of the chapter. Think about this last example, a news story. A printed newspaper story is usually just a single photo and some long, thoughtful paragraphs. But take that online, suddenly it transforms into a highly engaging page with photo galleries, auto-playing videos, and really lively comment sections. All of a sudden, you aren't just reading the news, you're watching videos and reacting to what strangers think about the news. The whole experience just totally shifts.
Section 4. The Godly Learner's Mind, Philosophy, and Purpose.
This is where we tie it all together. At HeroesMart Academy, we intertwine biblical morality with your education. Why?
Because honestly, education without morality can end up hurting us. Just becoming smarter isn't the finish line. Knowledge and intelligence should actually help you make wise, God-honoring choices rather than just making you more capable of doing things. Romans chapter 8, verses 6 and 7 teaches us that keeping the mind spiritually minded leads to life and peace. So when you're scrolling through a chaotic digital text full of distractions, comments, and endless hyperlinks, your intelligence needs to help you navigate all that noise. You have to stop and ask yourself, is this medium helping me stay focused on truth, or is it just distracting me? True academic excellence is pursuing knowledge while intensely keeping your mind centered on God, truth, wisdom, and righteous media choices.
Finally, Section 5. Your homework challenge, putting wisdom into practice.
All right, time for your assignment. Get those notebooks out and please write down these 5 questions. Number 1, name one benefit of reading in print instead of digital. Number 2, name one benefit of reading digitally instead of print. Number 3, how can hyperlinks actually help you explore a topic? Number 4, how might a print format limit information compared to a digital one? And number 5, compare how an image is used in print versus online. Take your time with these. Really think critically about our 3 pillars: structure, accessibility, and engagement, and write out some thorough, thoughtful answers.
I'll leave you with this final thought for the day. Remember our HeroesMart philosophy. Your intelligence should actively help you make wise choices, because education without morality can hurt. As you tackle your studies this week, really ask yourself, which reading format helps you keep your mind most centered on God, truth, and wisdom today? Sometimes, for sure, it's going to be that highly adaptable screen. But other times, it might just be closing the laptop, opening a heavy paper book, and finding life and peace in that quiet focus. Have a fantastic rest of your day, class. Study hard and choose wisely.